Multiple manipulation signals have been spotted during today's live stream using our highly anticipated Composure algo. I actually noticed one particular signal that we didn't catch during the live stream, and it could be responsible for the downside that we are currently facing right now. Let's go over and validate those signals now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an FNGR technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, team, so we are looking at FNGR here on the bi-weekly chart, and we can actually locate the downside that we face today at about 489 with this candle here. Go ahead and notice that that very bottom side tested the newly converted resistance into support of our broadening descending wedge. Okay, so yes, we have faced some pretty insane downside in the recent days, right? But what I can say is that it was a pretty impressive recovery thus far. Okay, team, so what we should notice here within the macro time frame is that we are getting close to getting a silver cross in the bi-weekly time frame. I expect this to happen maybe within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, team, so we'll keep an eye on this and see how that moves along with price action, right? So now with the current price action, team, since we didn't get an enormous recovery, I can see that we could potentially be bouncing off of another zone. Okay, team, and I want to point this out to you because this is not something that everyone is looking out for. Okay, so what I'm pointing out here is actually a regression line. Okay, so this regression line is very particular. And why is it particular, team? Well, because we have used this regression line for some pretty outstanding bounces to the upside. Okay, here's another one right here to where we faced this enormous upside here. We came right back down to it yet again where we called the bear trap right over here, and we got another impulsive move to the upside. And guess where we're going towards right now, okay, team? This is the current price action right now at about $5.13. I believe Webull is displaying at about $5.15 right now. So if we were able to speculate on this downside here, could we be finding ourselves with another parabolic bounce to the upside? Well, I don't know. But what we can do is speculate and backtest, right, team? So please remember that we definitely have several iterations of where we have used that trend line or that regression line as a pretty nice area for impulsive or parabolic move to the upside from that, right? So we are approaching that area once again. You can almost assume that yes, the sentiment feels like we may be able to get a parabolic bounce from that area yet again. Now let's locate that support zone before we actually continue on, right, team? So again, please, team, this is just speculation. It is not guaranteed that we're going to bounce from this area. In fact, we may actually continue to the downside. There are some targets to look at, particularly the area of about 449 to around the area of about 443, right, team? But for now, what I am looking at here is historically, we have used that regression pretty nicely, and I can see that happening potentially by, if you can see the date right down here, it says Tuesday, right at the X, right? X marks the spot. It's showing that it's Tuesday, August 8th, right? Literally tomorrow, and it could happen in the post-market session, right, where we actually get this downside. It may actually happen intraday too. We don't know, right, team? But that is what it's kind of suggesting here, that we could be touching down to the area of about 475 before maybe finding a continuation to the downside. Now, why would this target be the one to look at, 475? Well, first of all, remember that we broke to the bearish side from a pennant, okay? So that pennant is actually measured from the top side of the formation. We're going to gather the psychological price objective, right? So the psychological price objective, take a trend line from the top side of the triangle all the way to the bottom side and apply it to the breakout candle, which could be this one right over here, right? So let's go ahead and apply it there. And you can see here that that target is leading to 475, which just so happens to be the crossing point of this regression line and the 475 zone, right? So that is exactly why I am looking at this potential target literally around tomorrow, right? Because everything is telling us that it could be leading to that target tomorrow, okay, team? So upon facing this downside here, upon facing this huge bounce, what could happen? Well, I definitely could see that we could face a bounce if we do respect it as we have historically speaking. Then we could see a pretty nice bounce to the upside that could lead upwards of about 565. I'm talking about within this area here, just to be clear, 552 to 576, and into a potential zone where we could eventually find a 594, or I'm sorry, let's see what it is. Yeah, 589, sorry, top side, right, team? I'm not sure that can happen over the span of just one day, but historically speaking, it looks like it may very well can, right? So, well, all we can do here is speculate, team. All we can do is back test and see what the charts are indicating, right, team? So that would be the completion of this downside move. And yet again, it could also be yet again another bear trap, okay, team? So we were talking about here of a shorter time frame. This was a shorter time frame. I think we looked at it in the hourly time frame, right, where we noticed that there was a head and shoulders that led to this downside target here, where we said that highly likely 371 would be our bounce zone. I think I said 369, or 375. I think it was. I forgot what it was. No matter what it is, team, we did face that. We did face that upside, and it created a huge bear trap to the upside. And now, if you recall correctly, I spoke about creating a potential double shoulder, double head. Head and shoulders formation, right? So here's your shoulders area, here's your heads, here are your heads, right? And this is the other area here with a shoulder and shoulder potential top side, okay? So I'm saying that this may very well be a type of bear trap, okay? And it could explode from this area here. We're not sure. We just have to look at that. We just have to look at whatever's happening, okay, team? But what I can see clearly is that on the 3-hour time frame, we clearly have decreasing volume, okay, team, with a downside pivot, which is indicative of a potential reversal coming in soon. But that is just a speculation, okay, team? So let's go ahead and now take a look at that very signal that may be responsible for this type of downside that we're getting, which honestly is now playing kind of an integral part for that potential bottom side bounce, that parabolic bounce that we can find, right? So this right over here, we didn't notice it during today's live stream because we were looking at the shorter time frames and we stayed away from the 30-minute. But please go ahead and notice here our algorithm, the composure algo, right? The one that we actually just released recently. Now it's telling us that we have a that we have a manipulation signal printed here in the after hours trading. Super tricky. Look at what happened here. We got the signal printed right at about 534, and bam, the thing goes to 489 in the after hours. What happened, right? And oh my goodness, man, that is incredible, right, team? So yeah, I'm just saying that this literally happened around 4 in the morning, right? So So, and actually the upside that I'm looking at may also happen during 4 in the morning tomorrow too. Who knows, right? But I am looking at a few signals here, okay, team? So yeah, this right here, it figures, man. It really figures. We have this huge downside, right? Immediate downside. And then we just face this huge capitulation all throughout Friday, right? And then bam, the price action starts to come back up a little bit and manipulation happens and then just dumps it all the way to 489, right, team? So this is why I believe that we were facing a continuation to the downside, and it's a little tough for us to recover right now, team. But please remember that I am looking at these tickers. I am keeping track of them as we move on. So just to keep everybody in line here, by daily time frame actually accelerating the speed in which we may get this golden cross on the bi-daily iteration, okay? So if the one daily time frame didn't get us enough of an upside, maybe the bi-daily can help us get that upside, right, team? So that's coming up. Looking not bad. Okay, so now on to the last part of the analysis here. This is actually the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame RSI. You can see here that we do have an upside, however, it's not that strong, right? So we still have that upside pivot here too. Potential resistance found in a few percentages away from the current position. Another type of consolidation signal. Consolidation here, signal on the 4-hour. I'm sorry, consolidation signal here on the 4-hour, and yet again another one on the 8-hour time frame. Okay, team. So the only area that I could see that we could find a potential bounce is actually on the larger time frame, 3-day. Okay, the 3-day is actually finding its potential support from the gravitational zone, just like these iterations have. right? We're about to enter that area where we can bounce to the upside, succeed the upside of the SMA 14, and continue onwards and upwards, which is telling us that we may still have one more red day. Okay, team. So this is okay. It's not a problem. We just have to see and observe what price action is doing for us, right, team? So another thing that we could look at here before we move on to the before we call it a day here, is in fact volatility versus momentum. So let's go ahead and review that, right? So 30-minute time frame is already getting a pretty nice upside thrust, right? I think the 15-minute may be downside, yeah, and the 5-minute too. Okay, yeah, we have a little bit of downside in the 5 and the 15-minute. The 30-minute is already reflecting that upside. Let's see how far it's bled, right? So it looks like the hourly time frame is already getting that long signal here. We're contracting into critical zones. Notice that the MACD is already losing that bear pressure as well. Let's see the bi-hourly time frame. Bi-hourly time frame it has a little bit of an ebb and flow here, right? And we're also increasing volatility. However, it could be a little better postured, right? So 3-hour time frame also has that upside. We have increasing volatility with an upside pivot, and also we're getting the first bar, or yet again the second one, right, of a potential loss of bear strength. Okay, so which means that we could very, very potentially find that downside tomorrow, whether it be a flash all the way back down to that 475, I don't know, but there is that potential first, team. Okay, we're gonna have to evaluate the price action as we move. Please go ahead and tune in live, because we are covering FNGR and several other tickers for a few hours every single day. Okay, team. So I think that's a pretty good place to leave off. Please remember, team, never take anything of which I'm showing and iterating within these videos as a form of financial advice. I need you to please remember that I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever, okay, team? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I'll catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.